It is Christmas time at the shop. Seems like it anyway. Got another box. Now this is from my big brother Larry. He told me a few days ago he was sending this. Be careful not to cut it. Now, how this came to be, Larry has a bass tracker similar to mine. Mine is the 17.5 Pro Series. His is the 16-foot. I forget what they call those, but very, very similar boat. Just about a foot or so shorter. And he keeps a cover on his at the fish camp, and where the cover goes over the trolling motor, it had wore a hole in his cover. So he took it to somebody down there in South Florida he knows to patch it. A place that does that, sews tents and canvases and all that. And while it was there, a friend of his gave him this one to cover his boat with temporarily. And this one came off of a 17.5 Pro Tracker just like mine. So once he got his back, he said, "I don't need this. The guy gave it to me. Do you want it?" Dadgum. So and it has not been used much. Even if it had, it'd be fine. There it is. A real boat cover for my boat. Not a tarp, it's a real cover. This is the kind you can put on there and pull it down the road. And it even has the motor cover too. It'll cover the motor also. What's in there? There's a little strap in here. Now, I'm not going to put it on the boat just yet, because the sun finally came out this afternoon late. I think the weather is gone, so over the next several days I'll get the electric anchors put on, and once we get that on, I'll do a thorough detail clean on the boat, which it needs at this time, and then we'll put the cover on. How cool is that? Thank you, Larry. Thank you. That's awesome. I don't know what to say. Everybody's sending me all this nice stuff, and I really appreciate it. So that'll do it for this little clip. We'll add something else in here, and I've got a bunch of knives cut out. Got several knives to make, and we'll get that done here in the next couple of days. We'll get back to the boat cover later. Have you ever drove out of the driveway, got to the stop sign, and said, "Uh-oh, I have no brakes"? It ain't fun. Happened to me. I got some, luckily had some fluid put in there. I have a wheel cylinder, went out on the back, and it's just dripping and making all kind of a mess back there. So I managed to get to the park store. I managed to get to the little post office, which is right around the corner. The UPS store I need to go to is way up in town, past town, in some of the most horrendous traffic you've ever seen, and I don't want to trust it up there. So before I mail that one, I have to fix that. Put down my handy dandy piece of wood here to keep me from wallowing in the dirt too bad. Have air out here, have water out here, so there. Now I just need to make sure it's not going to rain anymore. cloudy and foggy. If it ain't one thing, it's something else, right? All right, I think the rain is gone for today. Now let's see, started on the truck. That is the culprit. Pardon me, it's leaking. Now, I've got it unbolted, got the line out of it. I'm gonna take this top spring out after I answer the phone. All right, got the old cylinder out. As far as I know, this is the original to the truck, because I've never changed them, and I've had it for years. My son had it for years before me, and I know he didn't change it because he told me. See, what this does, this presses out the fluid pressure and expands the brake shoes. This one is out, this one is stuck in. That's where the leak is, right there. Now these on this truck, if I didn't mention it before, there's two different sizes. One's a 10-inch, one's an 11-inch. And I wasn't sure which one, so I had to buy both of them. And but I can take it back, take the other one back. I want to say it's a 10-inch, but that's the most common. This is not a 4-wheel drive, heavy duty, nothing like that. So. Made in China, of course, like everything else is. So let's compare. Orient it correctly. That looks like it right there. Okay, now just for the sake of doing it before, put it back in there. Take a look at this one, and I can already tell it's different. Yeah, see there? That's way different. 10-inch it is. So we'll take that one back. Now these are not expensive. There was $15.99 a piece. That's not a lot of money. Well, it is, but I mean, it's not something that'll break the bank. 10-inch, 11-inch. There we go. So we'll take this back to the store in the next day or two, and all I got to do is give them my phone number, and they'll replace that for me. All right, and that cap there is just to protect the threads. Well, there we go. The hardest part about this job is climbing up and down off the ground. So let's bear with me. We'll get up here. Be right with you. Had a couple of phone calls this morning, which I enjoyed. Talking with my friends. Now let me turn this off for a minute and get all situated again, and then we'll try to get it in there. Well, I forgot to turn the camera on, but it just pops right back in there. I have not changed the adjustment. Now these shoes have plenty of padding still on them, so they're going to be fine. Of course, eventually they'll have to come off. Now these cylinders used to come with new bolts that go in there, but this one didn't. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not, but on the back side, these go in there. Somewhere. Yes, I do have the jack under it still and 2 jack stands. So we are playing safety. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wiggle it. I can't show you this on camera, so anyway, they just bolt in here and then the line goes back on. Alright, got the bolts in. Got the line hooked back up. Now I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit more and I'll spray it with some more brake clean. They do build up a lot of rust. Especially if you fish in salt water and put your boat in. You always get the wheels under, seems like. Excuse that camera work there. Now, I didn't notice it, but this has apparently been leaking a while. That'll work. That's just standard brake clean stuff. You don't have to do this part, but I like to get the old brake fluid off of there if I can, some of it anyway. Basically carburetor cleaner. Carburetor cleaner would do the same job. Plus it was on sale. That's that. Now we'll let that dry. It will evaporate and dry. Now the brake drum looks pretty good, but it's got oil all in there too, fluid in there. Now we'll get the air hose and blow everything off. Put the drum back on, and the next step we'll have to bleed the brakes in the back. Now there is an attachment you can get called gravity feed or air feed, air bleed. I do it the old-fashioned way, pumping up the brakes, and I'll have to wait for my son to get home to help me with that. He knows what to do. We've done it plenty of times. So, all right. And like I said, the hardest part about this job is getting that up off the ground and getting back down. So, see you in a minute. All right. But before to bleed them, you need to put the drum back on there. Now, I'm going to sit all the way on the ground. This is the aggravating part. Don't ask me how I'm going to get up. I will. I may have to adjust them in and then back out, but let's see if we can't get it back in there. And I learned how to do this over 40 years ago. Hey, yep, I'll have to adjust them in. There's an adjuster down here somewhere. All right, hang on. I'll be back in a minute. Like that. Didn't have to hit the adjuster. I just rapped on it one time and there it went. Now, before I bleed them, I like to have the tire on there. So let's do that. Put the tire back on, get the jacks out from under it, and then we'll worry about that. I don't like my legs being under here, even though I know it's not going anywhere. And that's that. Now let's get the jack out and the other jack stand and get these tools picked up and cleaned up and wait for Joey to get home to help me bleed them out, and we'll be finished. I'll show y'all how to do that too, just in case. I know a lot of y'all know, but if you don't know, I'll show you how to do that. All right, Mama's in the truck. She'd helped me do this a lot of times over the last 40-something years. All right. Now she's got the pedal pumped up tight. Maybe you can see it. I'm gonna open this valve and we're gonna release the air and some of the fluid. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay, did you hear that air come out? That's what we're trying to get rid of. All right, do it again. All right, got it?
Yep.
Okay, got solid fluid that time. Do it one more time.
Alright.
Okay, solid fluid on this side is good. Make sure that's tight. Now, when we get back out of here, I'm going to fill up the little reservoir again. We're going to move over to the other side and do the same thing. And then maybe we'll be done.